I was gonna take this down, but I think I'm gonna leave it in here. This is my son's bathrobe. I kind of like, you know, the little bit of color that it provides the bathroom here. I'm just gonna leave it up there. Nice little splash of red on the white wall. What is happening, guys? Welcome back to my bathroom. Today we're gonna be talking about Nevermore, the shirt. I don't hardly talk about Nevermore, and there's a reason for that. I don't want to be the guy that's constantly promoting his own stuff on his own channel, but I do feel like it's time that we talked about it a little bit. I'm going to show you guys just a quick demo. It's going to be a really quick video, I promise. It's going to be real quick, and by real quick, I mean I'm going to ramble on and on and on and on. So basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how I've been using Nevermore, how I've been using it. I kind of feel like with the release of Phantasm, Nevermore is kind of gone on the back burner a little bit as far as, you know, the stuff that's being talked about. I'm not even talking about it as much, and that's my fault. I should absolutely be talking about this just as much as Phantasm because it is just as good a product as Phantasm, which is why I put my name on it, which is why I put my name on Phantasm. They're both awesome products, and I am still getting weird questions like, is Phantasm somehow comparable to Nevermore? No, it's not. It's totally different products. We would not have released it if they were in any way comparable. But for those that don't know, Nevermore is a matte paste. It's the first matte paste that I released with the Lockharts. It's got an amazing scent. Tony from White Label hooked up this scent and Phantasm actually, and it's a very liquidy, creamy matte paste. I'm gonna give you guys a real quick look at it right here. Try to look past the bathrobe here and see just how liquidy and creamy this stuff is. I mean, if I stick my finger in there and pull some out, you can see how liquidy this stuff is. It will not pour out of the jar, you know, unless it's melted, but you know, it is supposed to be this type of consistency. For those that get their jar and wonder if this is correct, this is what it's supposed to look like. And that brings me kind of to the next question that I get all the time, which is how do I use it? How do I take a scoop? What's the best way to use it? This stuff is very versatile. You know, it means you can use it pretty much however you want. You want to use it on damp or towel dried hair? Not my preference, but if it works for you, fantastic. Pre-styling, you can do that with it. I'm going to do that here in a second. Post-styling, that's pretty much the way that I demoed it when it first came out, but we're going to pre-style real quick. My hair is damp. There's nothing else in it right now. I just washed it before we started filming. And what I like to do, my hair is actually kind of short. I should probably start with that too. I just had a haircut yesterday. I got 2 full inches cut off my hair. So it's about 3.5, maybe 4 inches in the front. And it's actually a lot shorter now in the back. I got, like I said, 2 full inches cut off. So my hair is kind of in that freak out mode. Every time I cut it a little shorter for a couple of days, it's like, what are you doing? So I kind of have to baby it a little bit, and I'm not gonna overload it with products. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, you know, fingertip, and it's really easy to get a fingertip because it's kind of like just dipping your finger in there, but you can kind of see how much I got here, just about a fingertip or so. And I'm gonna spread that throughout my hand. I think I might actually, that fingertip probably was a little bit too small. I'm gonna grab just a little tiny bit more because it's just spread really thin throughout my hand. This is very creamy stuff, so when you actually spread it in your hand, it completely goes away. So you can kind of gauge how much you got in your hand based on that. And I'm gonna go off of feeling too. I want to make sure I actually get enough to get an effect through my hair. I think that's probably going to be good. Like I said, I don't want to overload it. I don't want to, you know, make it too heavy in the pre-styling step because I will add more after I blow dry, but I'm just going to work it in, you know, all over the place. There's not much of a special skill to this. I'm just, you know, rubbing it all the way in, making sure it gets to the roots, making sure it gets to the tips. I'm, you know, putting it on the sides, the front, the back. I'm just working it all the way in. That's pretty much it. I do like to take my comb and just comb it back afterwards, and from there we're gonna start with the heat. Just gonna hit it with the heat. Got my blow dryer here, got my nozzle, and I am going to use heat, full heat, high heat, whatever you want to call it, the highest heat setting. I'm not one of those people that cares about heat protectant. I really don't think that's a thing. Never saw any heat damage, and I don't really know what else to say. It doesn't really bother me at all. So I'm gonna blow dry this, and as I'm blow drying, I'm just doing my normal thing. So see you when it's done. Okay, so I am all dried out now, and I think this gives me a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit about the differences in pre-styling results with Nevermore versus Enigma. Now, if you've used Enigma, I've used it a ton, and if you noticed, there is a real possibility of using too much when it comes to pre-styling with Enigma. I have to use a specific amount. We talk about finding your pump number, things like that. The reason for that is because you can very quickly overpower your hair with Enigma by using even just like the tiniest bit too much. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible to not overpower your hair with Nevermore as well. Obviously, you can overpower your hair with pretty much anything. But I don't think that the threshold is as tight, I guess, when it comes to overpowering your hair, meaning like I could have added another scoop in there and I'd still be okay if I used another scoop of Nevermore. But with Enigma, if you use even just like a little bit more than you should for your hair or hair type or whatever, yeah, you'll notice it right away. It'll like really hit you in the hair. It'll be like super sticky, hard to comb, and you know, it works really well when you use it correctly, in other words. But I think Nevermore kind of is a little bit more versatile. It gives you a little bit more freedom to use a little more, a little less, whatever you kind of want to do. And this is the results that I got here. And my hair is shorter, as you just said, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's in that weird length where like I can do a quiff, you see, but it's like just long enough for the quiff to look weird. You know, like a forward quiff. It's like just long enough for it to look too freaking long, you know? So you don't want to do that. You know, even so, the product is controlling it very nicely. I have some texture in there. I got some volume. I got a nice matte finish in there, and I'm, you know, I could actually stop here if I wanted. I really could. I could just finger comb it, throw it over, have it look good. But if you want a little bit of extra endurance, if you want just a little bit more power, you can just kind of dip your finger in a little bit more. You don't even have to add that much. So you just dip your finger in a little bit. Again, it doesn't look like much when you spread it in your hand. Put it into your hand and then run it through your hair. And you'll feel it, even though it looks clear. You can feel the stickiness right away. You can feel it when it enters the hair. And like they always say, you can always add more, but you can't take any away. That's how I always kind of approach it. And I think it's working out good. And what I see here, you know, a lot of people are worried about stickiness and tack. I can run my fingers through this. See, no problem. It's not pulling hair out. Also, for you guys, I'm finishing up here. I'm gonna give you guys the results here in just a second. But for those of you that don't know, Nevermore and Phantasm are now in a bundle deal too. If you wanna try them both, you get a little bit of a discount. That's actually available at the Lockhart site right now. I'll put a link in the description of this video, but you know, it's pretty cool. You get a little bundle, you get a little discount, and of course, you get the chance to try both products, which is pretty cool. But I'm pretty much done here now. I'm gonna give you guys a close-up here. I've got pretty much what I'm happy with out of this one, and I'll step outside, give you guys a close-up so we can see what it is. What I got here is a nice matte finish. I got some really good visible texture, got a little bit of volume there. My hair is pretty short, so volume right now is probably going to be a little bit hard to achieve, but I can see some there. Mostly I see a lot of texture, really good control, and the biggest thing there is it didn't take hardly any time. So hardly any time, hardly any effort, and the product did the majority of the work. That's pretty much it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, if you'd like to check out Nevermore, it is in the description there. There's a bundle there with Phantasm, or if you want to try this or Phantasm by itself, there's also options for that as well. If you guys would like to see a video like this covering Phantasm, let me know in the comment section as well. I can for sure put one of those together. Thank you very much for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.